Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Shakanvitamscha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिने नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश I'll just share the screen. Yeah, what devotees can read. Anybody can read?
Hare Krishna Mataji, may I read Mataji?
Yeah, yes, sir.
One paragraph, or you can tell me Mataji where to stop, then I will stop Mataji.
Yeah, this whole paragraph, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. According to this formula, the Goswamis, who are descendants of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Advaita Prabhu, are certainly devotees, but devotees coming from other families should not be discriminated against. Indeed, whether the devotees come from a family of previous acharyas or from an ordinary family, they should be treated equally. One should not think, oh, here is an American Goswami and discriminate against him. Nor should one think, here is Nityananda Vamsa Goswami. There is an undercurrent of protest against our awarding the title Goswami to American Vaishnavas of Krishna consciousness movement. Sometimes people flatly tell the American devotees that their sannyasa or title of Goswami is not bona fide. However, according to statements of Srila Rupa Goswami in this verse, an American Goswami and a Goswami in a family of acharyas are non-different. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Anyone else wants to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji, can you tell me where we are, Mataji? I had missed so many few classes.
We are in text 6.
Text
And,
6.
Yeah.
Which para, Mataji?
Now we just finished. We are going to read this.
Okay.
You can see this, Mataji.
On the other hand,
You have to come little down.
the text 6, right?
Yeah, yes, Mataji. You can see on the screen.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah, I can see on the screen, but I don't know where to find in the book.
Ah, okay.
Hare Krishna.
Krishnamurti Prabhu can read. You can read the next paragraph, Mataji. Until then.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. On the
Hare
other
Krishna.
hand, on the other hand, a devotee who has attained the title of Goswami, but is not born of a Brahmana father or of a Goswami in the family of Nityananda or Advaita Prabhu, should not be artificially puffed up by thinking that he has become a Goswami. He should always remember that as soon as he becomes materially puffed up, he immediately falls down. This Krishna conscious movement is a transcendental science, and there is no room for jealousy. This movement is meant for the Paramahamsas who are completely free from all jealousy. Param Nimastarana. One should not be jealous. Yet whether he is born in a family of Goswamis or has the title of Goswami awarded to him. As soon as one becomes envious, he falls from the platform of Paramahamsa. Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranam Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, Padma Mataji, you are able to get it?
Yes, Mataji, I found it in my book.
Okay. Can you read the next paragraph, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. If we consider the bodily defects of a Vaishnava, we should understand that we are committing an offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava. An offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava is very serious. Indeed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described this offense as Hathi Mata, the mad elephant offense. A mad elephant can create a disaster, especially when it enters into a nicely trimmed garden. One should therefore be very careful not to commit any offense against a Vaishnava. Every devotee should be ready to take instructions from superior Vaishnava, and the superior Vaishnava must be ready to help an inferior Vaishnava in all respects. One is superior to or inferior according to his spiritual development in Krishna consciousness. One is forbidden to observe the activities of a pure Vaishnava from a material point of view. For a neophyte especially, considering a pure devotee from a material point of view is very injurious. One should therefore avoid observing a pure devotee externally, but should try to see the internal features and understand how he is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. In this way, one can avoid seeing the pure devotee from a material point of view, and thus he can gradually become a purified devotee himself. Thank you,
Yes.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I continue or
We will go through this, Mataji.
Hari Bol? Thank you.
So, who is a Goswami? According to NOI definition, who is a Goswami?
One
Hare
who can
Krishna
control
Mataji, one who
senses.
controls the
Senses.
senses, six senses.
Yeah, according to NOI verse 1, one who controls the senses and the mind is called a Goswami. So now here it has been mentioned the Goswamis who are descendants of Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Prabhu are certainly devotees. But coming from some other families should not be discriminated against. And here two things comes. There are descendants from Nityananda Prabhu or Advaita Prabhu. Now it is a lot of generation coming down. So the generations may not be following Krishna conscious also. So that part also is there. So but they always feel, so when they have this Goswami as a now it has become as a surname for most of that coming in the down the generations. So when the name is given only for those devotees who are able to control their senses and the mind. So we cannot discriminate against the people or the descendants of Nityananda Prabhu or Advaita Prabhu if they are devotees, and the devotees from other families if they also get the title of Goswami from their acharyas or anything. So everyone should be treated equally here. So we cannot consider any person as American Goswami or this person is come from Nityananda Vamsha Goswami. No. So whoever is according to Rupa Goswami, we can understand that American Goswami or a Goswami in the family of Acharyas are non-different here. So, and okay, so there is one more point of protest against awarding this title Goswami to the American Vaishnavas. So as I mentioned, the Goswami title is given to the devotees who are trying to control the senses and the mind. So the one who are not following it, who are coming in the descendants family, and they have the title of Goswami. So those are the ones who are actually against of awarding this title to someone in Krishna conscious movement like that. So, but it is not like that. So it is awarded to a proper person. So if you have the title of Goswami and you're not behaving like a Goswami, so we have seen many people named with the surname of Goswami, but they don't even follow the four regulative principles. So just following the four regulative principle, a person comes to first a human level, and then following the devotional practices, then he becomes a devotee. So those who are having this title, sometimes they may not be a devotee also. So those are the people who are always going against going against American Vaishnavas or those who are in Krishna conscious movement, why they should be awarded the title Goswami. So that is the first point. And here, yeah. So how one should be when he is awarded the title of Goswami? Suppose here it has been mentioned that if he is not born of a Brahmana father or of a Goswami in the family of Nityananda or Advaita Prabhu, he should not artificially be puffed up thinking that he has become a Goswami. Just because he has got the title of Goswami, he should not become puffed up. Here, even if he sometimes there are chances that even if he is born in the family of Nityananda or Advaita Prabhu, or there are chances of born in the Brahmana family, they become puffed up because of having the title Goswami. So it is the both the ways. Whenever we get this title, it is for what we have achieved. So we should not become puffed up over there. And so whatever it is, one becomes puffed up materially, they will always fall down from their devotional practices, whatever they are. So here it is basically we should understand there is no room for jealousy or envy. So basically it is not only for the title of Goswamis, it is also a learning for all of us that there are chances that when two devotees come to Krishna conscious together and one progress faster and the other one not, like will be progressing but not at the speed of the other one, in the sense that they may be the other one might be doing lot of services and this devotee may not be able to do it, or this devotee may be able to chant 16 rounds and he could get initiated he or she could get initiated faster, while the other one is still not got. So there is never a comparison between the two devotees should be done. One is that. And the second thing is they should not compare with each other also based when we are practicing devotional practices, because from where we basically start, we don't know. Each one of the devotees, where we start, we don't know. So we should not be jealous of the other devotees also, because that will result in the fall down of our devotional practices. So one is progressing very well, then we should be appreciating that, and we should also be learning from that, that what you can just take suggestions from them, that how can I also do well in my devotional practices, instead of getting jealous or envy, because we have already been envious of the Lord and we are here in the material world. So we have been put up in this material world to make us understand that to come out of all these 6 Arishta Vargas, right? So and when we come to Krishna conscious movement and we start becoming jealous of other devotee, it is not going to help us. It is definitely going to make us fall from our devotional practices. So we don't want that. So basically, when we feel some hatredness or anything or negative feeling towards any devotee, it has been mentioned that try to find out or whenever we are trying to find faults in some other devotees, or we cannot upstand any devotee. So it is always told to find the good qualities of those devotees and try to glorify that. So in that way, our hatredness or envy or jealousy towards any of the devotees will at least get reduced, and we become conscious that we should not be doing that. So here the same thing is mentioned uh, for the one who has been awarded the title of Goswami. They should not become jealous enough. So even if they become so here, whoever it is, if he has been awarded this title or not, if he becomes jealous, he will be falling from the platform of Paramahamsas. So Krishna conscious movement is actually to make us understand, to come out of all this envy, jealousy, everything. So we should understand that and move ahead. So in that way, at least we will progress in our devotional practices. Otherwise, if we are doing the same thing, like how the materialistic people will be always envious or jealousy with their neighbors or with their office mates or college mates or whoever it is. So for some or the other reason, there's a corner to get into the envious nature. But coming into Krishna conscious, we may be chanting 16 rounds, we may be following 4 regulative principles, but if we don't work on the qualities which we need to imbibe by learning all those things which we see through, which we see through the devotees from Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So seeing all those things, like Indra become envious. So many times we see he became envious, he became jealous, right? What is the story where he's been awarded the title of for the forgot the story. Indra is been called as the king for the king, and whereas this Maharaj, what is this Maharaj's name? Ritu Maharaj, right? He is performing so many yajnas, and he is going to get the last yajna 1000 yajnas. If he performs, he gets a title which earlier Indra was having. So there Indra does not want to lose the title. So what he does, he becomes jealous over there. So immediately you will lose everything. So we see all this through these pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam. and need to adapt it in our practices. And then coming to the verse of 6, text 6. So what is the verse of 6? A pure devotee does not identify with the body. And a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. So one should overlook a devotee who is having a body, who is born in a low family, or a body with a bad complexion, a deformed body, or a diseased or a infirm body. So such imperfections may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee, but despite of having such defects, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. So it is exactly like the water of the Ganges, where during rainy season it will be full of bubbles, foam, and mud. But the Ganges water does not become polluted. Those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in the Ganges without considering the condition of the water. So we can see now during Prayag, many of them went to take bath and they used to see the water polluted. Some even went to an extent of testing the water, and what they came to know, that the water is still pure. There is no impurities in the water. This is what most of them got to know. So this is the main thing, main implication of the text 6, that we should not consider the bodily defects of a Vaishnava. We should not be seeing a Vaishnava from a bodily platform. So Prabhupada himself gave Krishna consciousness to so many of US Western countries. They are considered to be born of a low family, because whoever is born of Western countries, they are not considered, because they don't know anything about family lineage. So they are considered to be of a low family. So, but he did not consider all those things. And then coming to, if some Africans, again, they are of some bad complexions. But Prabhupada has not considered any of this, and he has awarded them Krishna consciousness. And when they took to Krishna conscious, so then they are considered as Vaishnava, a devotee. So when they have become a devotee, we are not supposed to consider the bodily defects. And the other thing is, one more thing comes over here is, like, we should not consider their previous things. Before coming to Krishna conscious, if the person was a drunkard or smoker, right? So we cannot consider his previous history. Now he is practicing devotee, so we are not supposed to consider his previous things. And even suppose, like, Prabhupada gives example that somewhere, sorry, not Prabhupada. So in one of Radhesham Prabhu's class, he gives an example that one devotee is giving very wonderful Bhagavatam class, and the other, he goes and tells it and appreciates it with another devotee. What does the other devotee tells? Yeah, he is giving wonderful class. But do you know what he was doing earlier? He was a smoker, he was a drunkard, he used to fall on the streets over there. So we should not be considering all those things of his previous, whatever it was, because he has left that. So there is a transformation in that person, right? He has left all that and he has taken into the practice of devotion. So when he is already started practicing, we cannot consider all his previous things. And if we consider that and try to offend the devotee, then it becomes Vaishnava Aparadh here. So in one of the songs, which Narottam Das Thakur has written, some song, Ei Baro Karuna Kor. So in that also, I can share it. Just a minute. Yeah. So in this song, this is about this is written by Narottam Das Thakur. This song is about Vaishnavas. So in this fourth verse, he mentions Haristane Aparada. You can see the screen, right?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So Haristane Aparade Tare Harinam. Tomasthane Aparade Nahi Paritran. So what does this mean? The holy name delivers one who has committed an offense to Lord Hari. But if one commits an offense to you, there is no means of deliverance. So we may commit or an offense to Lord, or we may do sinful activities, right? So for that, at least there is a deliverance by chanting the holy names, or even when we have offended the Lord without knowing who is the Lord, right? So, but for all that, merciful Lord will deliver us by just chanting his holy name. But if we do Vaishnava Aparadh, there is no means of deliverance. That is what Narottam Das Thakur is trying to tell us. That take the Vaishnavas, don't take the Vaishnavas lightly, don't offend the Vaishnavas. So never ever do Vaishnava Aparadh. So what did we read here? It is the offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava is very serious. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, actually even in Chaitanya Charitamrita and also here, he is describing the Vaishnava Aparadha as Hatimata, a mad elephant offense. So if we do this offense to Vaishnavas, it is actually going to block our practices, devotional practices. We cannot go further in our devotional practices. So we should always avoid commenting on the devotees' previous histories, or they are of low birth, right? Even in India, they are called Shudras or all those untouchabilities. So those type of people who are being categorized as, so when they take to Krishna conscious, we should never consider them based on all this caste, creed, color. And here also, the other thing is the bodily defect. So we cannot make fun of a devotee who is like having some polio related defect in his hand, in his legs or her legs, or some issues with their face or anything, right? So we should not consider the bodily defects of a Vaishnava. So materially, if we see, there may be defects, but like not only of a Vaishnava, it is also we can see that there may be few people who may be very good in heart, but outsidely materially they may not look attractive. So we cannot make fun of such people also, right? So we need to respect them also. So what to consider of a Vaishnava then? So we cannot offend such Vaishnavas at all. And we have seen in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, right? Like, and also we have seen the example of Durvasa Muni and Amrish Maharaj, where Durvasa Muni unnecessarily criticizes Amrish Maharaj, right, on Ekadashi by not, he broke his fast and he's just having prasad, trying to have prasad, not by serving his guest. So that is what he was criticized for. But So Durvasa Muni here was just criticizing Amrish Maharaj. And finally so the Lord cannot forget the Vaishnava aparad. So he will never take the aparad done to the devotees. So now the Lord, all the three lords, right, they could not help Durvasa Muni. He finally has to come and ask forgiveness from Amrish Maharaj. Right. Till that point, Durvasa Muni could not understand what was his offense, what was his mistake over there. So Durvasa Muni and Amrish Maharaj story is basically a Vaishnava aparad. How serious it is, we can know from this pastime. And coming to Chaitanya Charitamrita, yeah, so we have seen of example of what is his name? Ramachandra Puri, yeah. So Ramachandra Puri always used to criticize Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one time what he does, he goes to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he sees some ants on the floor where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was residing. And without knowing the context of where the ants are coming from or why it is coming, so he just criticized him by telling, so there are ants in your house. The ants are going everywhere. So you might have stored some sweets, right? Some gulab jamun, some rasgulla somewhere. So the ants are coming. You are a sannyasi and you are nicely eating all these sweets. So like this, he tries to criticize the Lord. But the thing is, only just because there are sweets, the ants will not come. So we may see you may have seen in your houses also. Now it is summer season that the ants may come near the water taps or even in the vessels where if you have stored water, the ants may come over there. Because I do experience this at my place. The ants always used to come near the water taps, or if I've stored some water and kept it just be there. So it need not be the sweets. So without knowing the context or anything, you cannot criticize any devotee like that. And there is one more thing of Ramchandra Puri is he would invite the devotees and he would what he will do, he will forcefully make them to, he'll forcefully feed them more. And then he will criticize. You are a devotee. How much you are eating? You are doing atyahara over here. Like that, he used to criticize. So all these aspects of criticizing devotees of what Ramachandra Puri, we can see an example, is not a good thing. So we cannot do such things against devotees. And so when we need to be careful when dealing with the devotees or when speaking to them. So we cannot be just considering them in a we are not supposed, not about that only the devotees, we should not criticize anyone. We are not supposed to criticize anyone over here. And when it comes to Vaishnava, then it is very serious. This point we need to understand. And one more thing what we have to observe is we should not observe the activities of a Vaishnava from a material point of view. So that is not going to help us. We have to see how he is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So there comes one more example, right? Gadadhar Pandit misunderstood whom when he was sitting with the
Pundarika
hook.
Vidyanidhi. Pundarika Vidyanidhi.
So we can see that as a great example for this thing, that bodily wise, he was sitting in a very nice silk cloth and all, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, and he was there with a hook of smoking. But as soon as they chanted the Srimad Bhagavatam, he was in ecstatic mood. So this example is a great example to know that how from a material point of view, we cannot judge the devotee. If like in Western countries, they may still dress in Western dresses, but they are still practicing devotional practices. So we cannot judge them based on their dress also, or from material point of view also. So in this way, we can understand that how Vaishnava criticizing or offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava is very serious. And, and we should not only be seeing them externally, we should always be seeing the internal features and understand how each one is engaged in the loving service of the Lord. So this is the main part of here of this text 6. We can just read the next paragraph. Shobha Mataji, you wanted to read, right?
Hare Krishna Mataji, give me a minute time. Hare Bol.
Yeah, from here, Mataji. You can
Hello. It is from those who think that, right?
Yeah.
The next paragraph.
Yeah, that paragraph.
Hare Krishna, Dhanarjana, may Sri Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those who think that Krishna consciousness is limited to a certain section of people, a certain section of devotees, or a certain tract of land, are generally prone to see the external features of the devotee. Such neophyte unable to appreciate the exalted service of the advanced devotee. Try to bring the Mahabhagavata to their platform. We experience such difficulty in the propagating this Krishna consciousness all over the world. Unfortunately, we are surrounded by neophyte God brothers who do not appreciate the extraordinary activities of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. They simply try to bring us to their platform and they try to criticize us in every respect. We very much regret their naive activities, and poor fund of knowledge. An empowered person who is actually engaged in the confidential service of the Lord should not be treated as an ordinary human being. For it is stated that unless one is empowered by Krishna, one cannot spread the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Haribol.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavats.
So here again, now this Krishna consciousness is not limited to only Indians or among Indians only to Brahmanas, right? So, or a certain section of people or only a certain category of land also. So we cannot consider Krishna conscious to limited. It is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada that Krishna conscious is spread everywhere to all the section of people. And so there are different section of devotees and in different section of lands. So all this comes as only as external feature of the devotee. So whenever we have to appreciate, so we need to see the internal feature of the devotee and appreciate, not only the external feature. So Prabhupada is trying to say that when we are propagating Krishna consciousness, there are people who don't appreciate Krishna consciousness spreading all over the world. So why is Shudra being able to take the name of the holy name, or why is a Shudra doing Archana Seva or a Pujari Seva for the deities, right? So there are, we know in India, there are a lot of things over this that only a Brahmana can do a Pujari Seva, and a person who is from birth of a lower category cannot do the Puja Seva. But if a person, even from birth, if he is of a lower category, but he has the qualities of a Brahmana, so that is what Prabhupada tells. The qualities of a Brahmana, then he becomes a Brahmana and he can do the puja, archana or whatever. So there is no difference over here. So just by birth, if you are a Brahmana and if you are not following to be a Brahmana, then there is no point of pinpointing others. So if you are a Brahmana by birth, then be a Brahmana, like a Brahmana, behave like a Brahmana and not like a Shudra. So we see this things happening in criticism happening in every platform, especially for Krishna conscious movement. But we just ignore it, thinking that they don't have the higher knowledge to understand that about this. And Prabhupada is making very strong statement over here that an empowered person who is actually engaged in the confidential service of the Lord should not be treated as an ordinary human being. Because if one is not empowered by Krishna, then one cannot spread the Krishna conscious movement all over the world. So even if he is externally in a body of a Westerner or a low class person, but if he is practicing it very strongly and he wants to preach Krishna conscious movement to everyone, then Krishna will empower, the Guru will empower him to do it. So then he will not be an ordinary person. He will be engaged in the service of the Lord. So we cannot state here that this person is of this just. So basically here we are not supposed to see the external feature of the devotee. We have to give them the all due respect and we should not criticize such devotees. So usually the Westerners, when they come to India, they are always been criticized because they are following Krishna conscious movement or they are taking the holy name of the Lord. So most of the Indians who are not having the higher knowledge, so they will just criticize them in many ways. So, but the devotees who understand this, that they are neophyte in devotional practices, will just ignore them. So here Prabhupada is speaking about his own God brothers who did not appreciate spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. Not all, some few maybe. So this is about that. So we will continue in our next sessions. So any questions or you have anything to share related on this, whatever we discussed, you can let us know. If you remember any examples from the Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita related to this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Nothing,
Krishna.
Mataji. From my side, nothing. Thank you, Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Mataji. So if no questions or nothing to share, we can end here, Matajis. Prabhujis.
So you have very clearly explained, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much. We'll continue in the next session. Vancha
Thank you.
Kalpatarubhisha Kripa Sindhu
Patitana
Patidana
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnavaki
Koti
Jai.
Vaishnavita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Mataji. Thank you,
Thank you
Mataji.
so much.
Dandavad Pranamam, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Pranam, Mataji.
Mataji.